All right, we just had to refresh you with what happened in the Unity Cup final as the Super Eagles won the trophy for the first time in how many years? And some will say it's a friendly tournament, but it is a trophy, whether you look like it or not. Go and ask Arsenal what it means to win a trophy. They will understand why the Super Eagles should be celebrating this trophy. And of course, so much will be going down as we count down to the game against Russia, which comes up later, or on talking about on the 6th of June, as the Super Eagles take on Russia in a friendly affair. And that note, I say welcome to Locker Room. It's still Locker Room on Voice of the People TV. My name is Jerry Arpeliohai. And of course, it promises to be exciting on the show this evening as we take a look at very interesting stories in the ever exciting world of football. It's a full house. Maiwa joins us virtually, and Ike Chukwu is here with us once again. And Maiwa missed his return. Talking about he missed Ike Chukwu's return yesterday. He has been with Ruben Amorim, consoling him and the boys. He took a trip somehow to Hong Kong virtually to console them after they lost out in a friendly affair. And even I said it yesterday, Maiwa, for the record purposes, that if you want to arrange a 11 MPFL side, they will still beat this Manchester United team. They've lost every form of confidence. Ike Chukwu, once again, it's great to have you on Locker Room. You know what it is. You know what
good evening, Jerry, and Maiwa, good evening. It's so good to be back. Jerry told me how much he spiced you like a grilled chicken. After
that's true.
I'll be fair with you because he has not been ranting or giving us prophecies. He has just been modest and saying it the way it is. But you are still believing in Sir Alex Ferguson's days. You have still not come to the reality that Man United is no longer a top club.
One bad season doesn't make you a terrible team.
No.
But then, Jerry...
It does. It does. For this United, the terrible season has continued over time. Ten Hag has also been
United won the FA Cup last season.
Yes, that's what Ten Hag has been doing. You know, when
that's why I said one bad season.
you know,
Jerry,
it's not a one bad season. You've been having this bad season. You know when
you're as good as your last season. You know.
There's this
who goes to the Europa League finals?
There's this certain rodent, this rat, bush rat, that normally eats people's feet. Maiwa. That rat, it will be blowing you and will be eating your feet. When you wake up in the morning, you will see that your hands, they've eaten your hands, but you find out that you didn't even feel it. But how come?
I've not seen such. Right?
No, it's
in Edo State.
No, it's not in Edo State. So that's what Ten Hag was doing to you. They were eating you and blowing you and giving you hope that you are still alive. But Ruben Amorim now exposed everything. It is well. Why? It's great to have you join us as well.
Well, you know, it's always amazing to be here. To correct you, we actually won a cup in Malaysia. Even we did not win in the EPL. We went to Malaysia and we won the cup. So at least Ruben Amorim's first cup. So and also you cannot say because we had one bad season we are terrible. We produced a trophy in the last 3 years. You cannot say that for our neighbor in London. Those with gun in their logo. When was the last time they produced a trophy? So we are still better off than some certain teams. And you know, we are in a rebuilding process, and you know, rebuilding takes a bit of time. So we are in the rebuilding phase, and you know, definitely next season we are coming out with a big bang.
Big bang. Is it the Hong Kong trophy that was arranged? That did the parade. They made a joke of themselves. With this trophy that was handpicked and arranged to at least console Ruben Amorim and his team. Mario, please, you are better than this now. You shouldn't be saying that as a trophy now. Please. This is a team that was beaten by an Hong Kong arranged 11.
You will use the small one to practice for the bigger one now. If we don't know how to carry the small trophies, when are we going to know how to carry the big one? So I mean that's a test for Ruben Amorim. It means that if he works harder, we are going to get a better trophy. But in any case, jokes aside, banters aside, I think there is a whole lot that needs to be done for Manchester United. They are making moves, Umbuemo, Cunha, and the rest of that. However, there is a need to overhaul the team if we want to go forward. We should not delude ourselves. That team is terrible, and we need a total overhaul for us to be able to move forward.
All right. I wish you all the best in that one. Definitely, I'm not looking forward to that. But anyway, a lot to look forward to on the show today. And of course, you can also watch us on LCL TV channel 264. Don't miss out. Definitely, our advice that you stay tuned, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell for those of us who are watching us on YouTube. You can also call us live on the show right now via the WhatsApp number showing on your screen to join the conversation. Let's start off with the Super Eagles, where they're in the news, where Nigeria's coach Eric Chell has given Samuel Chukwueze a new role in the midfield, deviating from his traditional position as a right or left winger. This new role is part of a diamond formation, with Chukwueze playing as a number 10, close to the main striker. And Chell believes this role suits Chukwueze's strength, allowing him to focus on attacking play rather than defensive responsibilities. Chukwueze's performance in the Unity Cup tournament justified this decision, particularly in the final against Jamaica, where he scored a goal. And Chelsea's potential in Chukwueze playing centrally. Do you think this role will serve Chukwueze well and is going to make impact?
I believe it is a role that really suits his person. I mean, playing in number 10 role, you have to be very slicky, you have to have a very good vision, and you have to also be very quick. And I think all of these attributes Chukwueze possesses. And, in that particular role, Nigeria has been lacking for years. We don't have someone that could really dictate or drive us forward, whenever we get the ball from defense. Our transition has always been slow because we don't have someone who is quite mobile and can actually use his sides to actually, bring in those very key passes that can actually result to goal. Our first goal against Rwanda in the just concluded doubleheader of the World Cup qualifiers. Remember that Chukwueze was actually the one who actually laid that pass to Victor Osimhen. But when players like this, because some players are actually not built to contribute defensively, when players like this joined the defense, it actually weakens their strength. So I think it's a very good one, because now he's going to really focus more and he's definitely going to preserve his strength. All of his strengths will be, utilized, helping Super Eagles going forward. And there's also something about Erichel and Chukwueze. I think there's this, keen interest he's got in this particular player. I don't know why, but I think at the end of the day, if he can actually help us get the best out of a player who the whole nation have always been seen as a player with, huge prospects, who has always been promising. Remember his first Nations Cup game, and of course that particular goal against South Africa. I think it was in 2019 Nations Cup when Nigeria actually narrowly lost to Algeria in semi-final. So Chukwueze actually came into that particular game, changed that particular game, and he actually announced himself as a player that can rely upon. So I mean, if Erichel can actually bring the best out of him, placing in number 10 role, which we've always been looking for a player that can really stand in that very position, then of course it's a welcome development for me.
All right, why you think it's a welcome development as well?
I think it's a welcome development. If you look at his game against Jamaica, he was very instrumental from where he was playing from. And kudos to Erichel for figuring that out. Remember, he was the best player in La Liga, moved to, the Italian Serie A, and he has been struggling for playing time, with AC Milan. I think the new way Erichel is deploying him, I think it's much more effective than the way he's being deployed in AC Milan. That's where we are seeing the best of him. If you look at, in that particular game, he was even, apart from the fact that he was a thorn in the flesh of the Jamaicans, he was also on the scoreboard. He shows the kind of quality he possesses. And like Ketu rightly said, I think he's going to flourish. If you look at how he played against Jamaica, I think he's going to flourish as a number 10 rather than, deploying him on the wings. I think, he has more, he's able to join attack from the middle, get the passes, spread the passes, rather than going the way he usually goes. It drifts so wide, and the crosses are always very poor. I think playing from the middle is being able to manage this pass. He doesn't need to do the long-range crosses, which are very inaccurate, which has made him, not to be that effective. And he also has the opportunity to be able to, break the defense, especially moving from central defense, which is also what he did against Jamaica. I think this will be a good fit for him. if, just a little bit of tweaking from HL, I watched that particular game. There were still some little mistakes he was making. There were some pocket of passes that he was supposed to make. And, the days of playing from the wing is still very evident in him. I think if he can adjust a bit, I think he will be a suitable number 10 for Nigeria. And I'm looking forward to seeing how HL is going to deploy him, probably in our next game against Russia or, in the World Cup qualifiers coming up.
All right, let's see what happens in the game against Russia. But we hear that Sarah Dessers' name is not part of the squad list for the Russian friendly. And of course, Nigerians are surprised he's absent from that list. And Dessers had a stellar performance in the Unity Cup, scoring and assisting crucial goals. However, he's not going to be part of the game against Russia just because we heard that the man is tying the knots. And of course, he has paid his dues, and he has said that it's high time he becomes a married man. And of course, it's good. It's a good news for Sarah Dessers, but unfortunately, he will not be part of the Russian game.
Yes, I mean, I don't think there's any thing that a player like Sarah is supposed to prove to us at this point. We've seen it all.
Yeah,
I mean,
we've
had players come in to actually, take the stand for Victor Osimhen. They've all, proven that they don't have the quality to actually be relied upon. Likes of Victor Boniface, Paul Onuachu, they fall short of the billing. Now, so every single time it comes, we see a player who is hungry. We see a player who wants to deliver and he's done his job. I mean, there's time for everything. This is the time for him to actually, start his own family. I think it's a very good time for him. He's shown that, he's actually a good player with the Unity Cup. The Russian friendly is just one of those games. I don't think this should be a reason why Erichel should not invite him going forward. This is a very genuine reason for him to, actually excuse himself from the camp. I hope to see him very, very more often now in Super Eagles, knowing that he actually proved himself as far as I'm concerned.
All right. With what you've seen so far, Mayo, are you convinced that Sarah Dessers is the go-to man when Osimhen is not available?
Well, definitely. Sarah Dessers is definitely interesting based on his performance in the. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. Based on the performance in the last, in the Unity Cup, I think he's a go-to person. Remember, we've been struggling for goals. Anytime Osimhen is not available, we are always struggling in front of goals. And, it's Sarah Dessers coming in. If you look at his movement in the 18, it shows that, he can provide cover when an Osimhen is not available. If an Osimhen is not playing, the likes of Paul Onuachu, Victor Boniface, they have tried in that particular role and they've not been able to cut it. I think Sarah Dessers, adds a whole lot to our game. And it should be somebody we should be looking forward into integrating into our team. His movement in those two games is an indication of how deadly it could be. Yes, a lot of people might say he struggled in Rangers a bit, but I think for Nigeria, owing to the fact that the strikers that we have as a replacement for Osimhen, they are not doing the job. I think it will be a better replacement. I think it will be a better fit for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I'm looking forward to seeing how is going to be deployed in our next crucial game.
All right, definitely. I would like to see him more often with the Eagles. And of course, taking a look at the strikers who have been given the responsibility, we understand a certain Olakule Olusegun has been included. He plays in the Russian league, and there's Moses Simon, Sikiru Alemi, Tolu Arokodare, and Victor Boniface again. So with this forwards, hopefully we'll get enough firepower against the Russians.
I want to believe so. Even though
I'm not optimistic about this. Apart from Moses Simon, the others are just suspicious.
Again, the game. I mean, it's against Russia. Russia has been a team that is not very well tested recently, so they're definitely going to be coming in not very strong approach towards this game. And of course, for the Super Eagles, yes, I think some of the players, especially our midfield and of course the defense, are very well exposed to this particular level. But the attackers is where, like you said, apart from Moses Simon, who for me I want to believe that Erichel might not really give him a lot of minutes in this game because he may want to actually really test this majority of the new guys. And I don't think that Cyril Deza will actually be missed, because for me, many of the players who are actually here, the likes of Tolu, I think it's an opportunity for us to really see him, because we've not really seen him. Yes, we've not really seen him. So it's an opportunity for him to see. And also, Victor Boniface, it's an opportunity for him to also redeem himself. I mean, if you can actually get it it takes just one game to actually get your foot in a particular in a team. So maybe this is just that game that we will get to see Victor Boniface once again.
All right, so of course, talk about Victor Boniface. The Bundesliga players have voted Victor Boniface among the worst players of last season in a poll conducted by German media, Kicker, following the conclusion of the league. Boniface had 11 goals this season in comparison to his blockbuster performance last season for Bayer Leverkusen, who went almost unbeaten until they lost the Europa League final to Atalanta. He had 11 goals in 27 games, and he almost left the club side. They almost pushed him out to the Saudi League, but somehow they chose a certain player in Aston Villa who just had a half-season wonder, and it was really a big blow to the man. And since then, we've not seen the Victor Boniface of last season.
I mean, it was sad for him, and of course for a lot of fans. I mean, for me first, the first thing I was thinking when that deal actually came in was that, why are you interested in going to Saudi Arabia? I mean, this should be the peak of your career. This should be the prime. This is where all players want to actually remain in Europe. You've done what a lot of teams cannot even do in Europe. You know, getting the Golden Shield in Germany, where, I mean, a lot of persons have even termed the league German Bayern Liga, where they actually, you know, win the league season in, season out, and then you didn't just win the league with Bayern Leverkusen. You are an integral part of that team. And now, you know, just a season after, club in Saudi Arabia came for you, and then you're all over it. And when they pull the plug, you know, like they say, you know, everything fall like the pack of cards, and Victor Osimhen is here to actually regain his form. I think this is a problem from his...
Please.
I mean, Victor Boniface. Yeah, I think it's a problem from his agent, and also from people his inner circle, because I think it should be properly advised. You've done a very huge thing in Europe. You got to the Europa League final, lost to your compatriot Ademola Lookman. I think the next thing you should be thinking about is, how am I actually going to actually move on from here? Even if you're not going to be playing in Germany again, there are top clubs in Europe, Champions League teams that will be willing to actually get to you and want to be part of them. Why are you chasing the bag at this point? I'm not against people chasing the bag, but then there are certain things, you know, that you should prioritize at a certain age of your of your career, right?
Age, that's very important.
It's just 26.
Anyway, we all know the story. Let's not forget, injury denied him from being a part of the Nations Cup. That was where his issue started. But he went on to have a fantastic season in the Bundesliga, but not winning the Europa League also dented his chances of winning the African Footballer of the Year. And somehow he had a below par season at Bayer Leverkusen just this concluded season.
Well, the Yorubas, they call something Shagbeloju Yoyo, meaning the thing will be shining to you. When you open it, you see that there is nothing inside. The thing is this, I think he's a one-season wonder person. He did so well in the first season in the German Bundesliga. The second season, yes, some people might say he was injured at some point, but the injury was not as terrible as the one he had in his first season. After he came back from injury, he contributed about 15 or 16 goals to the overall campaign, and that shows the kind of quality he has. But the second season, he has not stepped up. You know, Florian Wirtz, you know, a Liverpool is coming for a Florian Wirtz, but the same is not being said for Victor Boniface. I think he dropped form, and there is a need for him to rediscover his form. Yes, I want to argue with Chukwueze that, you know, thinking about the bad does not make any logical sense. I think he should be, at this age, he's just 25, he should be in Europe and be competing for the best clubs in Europe. However, the performance of last season, I don't think any top club want to come for him. So if any big club comes for him right now, it will be a big mistake for him to move. The reason is very simple. He will be under a whole lot of pressure. He will need to go back to the drawing board and recalibrate himself. Remember, he's also facing a lot of criticism from Nigeria. Also, he has not been cutting it for the national team. He's just been selected because, you know, he's one of our established players. But to be honest with you, if you compare his last season to 2 seasons ago, you know, last season was very terrible for him. And I think there is a need for him to recalibrate and do much more better. You cannot want to be competing with the best in Europe and you have that kind of season. No big club want to come for you and that might not advance his career. So there's a need for him to do better in terms of his performance and his overall play.
All right, to think that some Premier League clubs were being linked to him as last summer and during the January transfer window, but none is talking about him at the moment, which is really, really poor. It shows that something is actually wrong somewhere with Victor Boniface, and of course, it seems like even the memes have gone cold. We are no longer seeing them regularly like it used to be. But it is what it is. Anyway, maybe village people have remembered him.
Maybe it's also the injury too, because they also have to look at these factors when they're actually going for players. I mean, top clubs in Europe, before they sign players, they do what we call what businessmen call risk assessment, and they check all of these things. And if this guy is injury prone, can we actually manage him in the long run? He's still very much young. I think he can actually really, really heal. And it's all about perhaps maybe just a little diet or change of training program or routines. He's going to really stay fit and give the very best of his talents to the team.
All right, a legend is talking about Austin JJ Okocha. It was good. They named him twice, and this time around he's giving advice to Victor Osimhen, and he considers that he has advised Osimhen to consider a permanent transfer to Galatasaray, where he spent the 2024-2025 season on loan from Napoli. Okocha believes Turkey is a great place to play and live football, and Osimhen's happiness and success at Galatasaray make it an ideal choice. And I don't know whether Osimhen would take this kind of advice at this moment, because if you ask me, staying at Galatasaray, he has done his best. He has given his best to Turkey. I don't know what more he wants to offer, because age is still on his side. I know back in the days he chose to play for Bolton, and a lot of Nigerians have still not forgiven him. He has the talent to play for the biggest clubs in the world, but he chose to play for Bolton because he was comfortable and they gave him the money he wanted. And of course, other players are more ambitious, and I don't think JJ Okocha, with the way he managed his career at the tail end when he was still in his prime, should not be the best advisor to Victor Osimhen right now. I don't know. For me, that's my own take.
Well, just see this as a midfielder giving, a true pass to a striker. That's what JJ is known to do. I mean, this is a pass, all right? I mean, sometimes the best of midfielders give you a wrong pass. So this is just actually one of those wrong passes it is actually laying off. Because for me, like you rightly pointed, Victor Osimhen is very much at the prime of his career, former African Footballer of the Year, and he's running for this current one as well. He's done so well for Galatasaray. This is the time for him to actually move. But of course, on the inside, you look at Osimhen's career and ask yourself, how many clubs is willing to actually pay Osimhen the money he's actually demanding? Again,
the money is actually the issue.
The next question we'll be asking is Osimhen a player willing to take a pay cut? This is the second question. So if we can look at this both question and say, okay, fine, there's really no headway here, then of course JJ's assist, right, is definitely going to be actually accurate at this point for him to actually stay put, because Galatasaray will be coming to the UEFA Champions League, and of course if he come with a move with Galatasaray and they bring in one or two good players to actually help him actually get the best out of him in the UEFA Champions League, then maybe perhaps these big teams will definitely look at him and say, okay, we can actually the money is actually worth spending on him, because he's really done so well to prove that he's a player for the big moment. So maybe just JJ's advice at the end of the day might just be one of those very awesome assists that we've seen him give our strikers over the years.
Yeah, it's no assist that leads to goal. Bayowa, I think this is not the assist that he should be looking forward to if he still wants to play at the big level. Bayowa.
Well, remember, JJ Okocha also played with Fenerbahce, so probably maybe that's the reason why he's advising him. However, I think it would be a wrong move for him. The Turkish league, if you look at the reason why they are not top, if you look at their performance in Europe last season, all of the clubs that went to Europe from Turkey last season, they performed woefully. I mean, the performance was very terrible, and that is a real assessment of the Turkish league against the top club. Osimhen is one of the top goal scorers, but I don't think he's going to win the African Footballer of the Year because of the club he's playing for at the moment. So I don't think it will be a good one for him to stay. He has done his bit. He has the quality to play for a bigger club. If he gets the right agent, they will get him a very big club in Europe that will probably give him what he wants. I don't think he's asking for too much
Okay.
At his age and what he has been able to do, I think he should be able to get a club that will be able to give him what he wants. He has the quality and he should be competing for the best club in Europe, not the Galatasaray side that doesn't do well when they play in Europe.
All right, okay, not the Galatasaray side, because I even saw some news that Liverpool might be showing interest in him, and that's from the home front. But I'm still waiting to hear from Fabrizio before I will confirm whether it's actually there's any truth in that. Because if you ask me, I can ask that Napoli should take Darwin Núñez, Cody Gakpo, and Jota all together and give me Osimhen. I don't mind. Because imagine Osimhen, the day they signed Osimhen at Liverpool, I would just say everybody should go and start keeping the Premier League title for Liverpool with Florian Wirtz. Come on, what else can you ask for? Imagine his numbers. He gives it to any club side. He gives you a good chance to win the EPL.
True.
If he gives you 25 goals and Salah gives you 20 goals, what more are you waiting for? Just go and keep the EPL and say.
And with the assist of PGML.
Yeah, with PGMO, anyone you want to, I'm good to go. Anyway, Gary Neville believes the Manchester United need players like Brian Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha to take the team forward. Speaking to the press, Neville highlighted the importance of identifying and signing top talent. Of course, Mbeumo is a top talent. He gave them for playing for Brentford and scoring more than 15 goals in the season, and Cunha, who are playing for Wolves, who were struggling at some point in time, even much of the season. I think these are very interesting talents. Who knows? This might be the season where Man United gets it right.
Well, it's the person we no get clothes. If they give him a rag, he goes and cover body.
No. These are very decent players.
So,
He doesn't go to
that.
No, because I mean at this level, United should actually be in a running for players, high profile players. We are not supposed to be looking at players who have had just one good season in their career. This is not what a top team prioritizes. The top team wants to see a player who over the years has shown consistency. I mean, Cunha and Mbeumo, they don't have that consistency in them. What if United sign them this season and then they go back to default setting? So these are the questions. It's not about seeing them and saying they did good numbers this season. That's not what top clubs prioritize. It's all about how often you've done it, and that's why Liverpool is looking for the likes of the service of Florian Wirtz, because not just this season, last season, even this season that Bayern Munich didn't do so well. He's one of their standout players. This is what top teams do. So if we start looking at this sort of players, it says a lot about the mentality of the team. I don't know what Amorim's plan is. I don't even know what the project at United looks like at this point, if there's any project at all. But if there's a project and that project is tending towards signing players like Mbeumo and Cunha after having a disasterful season, then it says a lot about what United is actually looking ahead of. And it's so safe to say that there's neither a tunnel, talk more of saying that there's going to be light at the end of it.
All right, of course, Mayowa, Cunha, and of course, Mbeumo has specially chosen that he wants to join Manchester United. Even Chelsea showed interest. I think even had Arsenal were also interested in him, but he says he wants Manchester United. That means these guys want to play for Man United. It's a start, and if they join the club side, they will add value.
Definitely, they will add value. If you combine the goals and assists between those people, they have over 36 goals and assists.
Yeah.
Manchester United scored 44 goals in the whole of last season.
Imagine you add that goals to Man United's goals.
Two players alone, they have 30 goals, and also they are Premier League tested. That's number one. Number two, we are not going to Europe at the moment. Mm-hmm. We are not going to Europe at the moment. We don't have the cash. We are not going to Europe at the moment. We don't have the cash to spread around. The money from Europe is not coming. So definitely we have to make do what we have. Number three, I will pick Mbeumo and Cunha over Højlund 1 million times. And that's just the honest truth. Højlund, I heard, is on the move. Marcus Rashford, according to the issue going on between him and the manager, is not going to stay. So definitely we need the reinforcement. And the pressure as regards going to Europe is not there. These are two players that are tested in the EPL. The players that we have at the moment, the players, playing our forward at the moment, they are not good enough. So I think this is a good move. This is a good buy. Let us move from 16th, from 17th to number 6. Let's see if we can improve our lot, on the Premier League table. We should not be talking about probably maybe we want to go to Champions League. Let's get ourselves stabilized. We need at least 3-4 years for us to be able to get to the level we need. And this first cycle of recruitment is getting two proven strikers in the EPL. I think it's a good move for Manchester United.
My 3-4 years.
Yeah, definitely, yes. Yes.
I hope Amorim will still be there.
And you make this look like a comparison between.
Amorim will still be there.
I don't understand. You're making it look like a comparison between Cunha and Hojlund. No, and Hojlund. Because we're not even comparing these players with the ones we have. We know the ones we have aren't good at all. But you are saying this. You are comparing this.
You have already dead.
Yes.
These ones are living.
No, what we're saying is, Jerry. What?
You've already said it that he just protest your point.
No, he's saying he's trying to bring comparison. It's not even a case of comparison. We're looking at players that are top players for a top team, right? I mean, if Mbeumo moves you to 6th this season, because it's not even certain. You've just got one good season, and there's no consistency, there's no track record for him for us to prove that, okay, he's done it over 3 seasons with that number. That's why we'll be having a conversation. Okay, this guy's actually good it's actually a good fit for us.
No, you don't have to wait for him to prove himself back to back, because Man United is not in a position to start making going for big players.
How?
These are very decent players.
Before Jose Mourinho joined United was not a Champions League team. United bought likes of Paul Pogba.
No, before Mourinho joined Manchester United still has some glimmer of. Luis Vaga just left. And they had a very
United didn't make top 4.
No, they still have a decent club. They are not a club side who just finished 14-16. Yes.
No, Jerry.
United still has hope.
United might not.
At that time, United still had the pool to still sign big players.
United may not have finished.
When Mourinho joined, United were heading for the Europa League. Remember, we won the FA Cup.
United didn't make top 4. That's the point.
Yeah, but they're still going to Europa League. This time around, you're not going anywhere.
That's what I'm saying.
You're not going anywhere.
United just finished Europa League finals now.
Yes, sir.
Hold on. No, hold on.
As bad as this team is, this team got to Europa League finals.
But we made top 4 and we were heading to the Europa League.
No, we didn't make top 4.
No, sorry. I said we won the FA Cup. Rather, we didn't make top 4. We won the FA Cup and we were going for the Europa League. And that was what even attracted Jose Mourinho. However, at the moment, we are nowhere. The thing is this, it's a rebuilding process. It's going to take time. Let me give you a typical example. When Klopp came, Klopp had about 3 years to rebuild, Liverpool. At a particular point in time, he knew that the problem was the goalkeeper. He had to change the goalkeeper after a disastrous Champions League final.
You cannot compare Liverpool with Man U. Liverpool have not won the league for over 20 years before Klopp arrived. You can't compare a dead team and a team that is actually sleeping. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same.
See, don't worry. You are coming to 35 years very soon. Don't worry.
Jerry.
It's going to happen. Don't worry.
Are you serious?
God keep us alive.
No, the way you're sounding
about 30 years for this Man United team. Don't worry. We'll be here. Anyway, it's good news for Manchester United all around. Bruno Fernandes has turned down a stunning £200 million proposal from Saudi giant Al Hilal. It means that Man United is doing something right. For him to reject this move and you are signing Cunha, Mbeumo is on his way, in spite of what is going on at Manchester United, I think it's still a good sign. But there's also good news for Man United. Jadon Sancho is coming back. Chelsea have cancelled his move and saying that, okay, take £5 million, take him. We don't want. Free us from the obligation to sign him. So these are 2 good news, or 3, or even 4. Cunha is coming, Mbeumo is coming, Bruno is staying, Sancho is coming back. So everything is happening together for good for Man United right now.
Sancho is coming back because he's greedy. He doesn't want a pay cut, and that's the reason why he's coming back. And he's not going to play. Amorim has said it. You are not playing for my team. So he's going to sit down on the bench for what?
He's collecting about £400,000.
Yeah, I mean, he's just going to be a financial burden on a Manchester United that is struggling.
At least they've settled you $5 million to at least for the next one season, that money will still so will still help you pay Sancho's wages. So you're not going to feel it that much. So he's still on the bench and enjoying the 5 million that he collected from Chelsea. So I think the guy is cashing out. He's the biggest Yahoo boy now on the field. Anyway, I think every sort of word. I think these are good news. You should be happy.
I don't even know what to make of this news because for Bruno Fernandes, I just see a player that's ambitious. He doesn't want to go to Europe. He still believes he's got a lot to prove in Europe. But for Jordan Sancho, I just hope they can actually find a common ground between him and Amorim to actually, do very well. And let's see if we can actually get, something from him because I mean he's actually the next big thing after Marcus Rashford in the United flank, right? And now we've lost Rashford. He's not. I don't think he's coming back. And now there's Sancho very much hanging in the air. So I mean this is a lot about the team. And then we are having a conversation of Cunha and Mbeumo. Please.
All right, that's how we wrap it up. Maiwa, all the best. Thanks for being a part of the show, and Chukwueze as well. It's also awesome having you guys on the show, and of course, a big.